Brother attacked me, my mother ignored it and assaulted me too, now I'm escaping to a shelter to be free. I'm 21F and he's 15 male. My little brother, Rascal, is a narcissistic menace. As a kid, it was tolerable, I was his older sister, and being the eldest daughter of 5 kids in an ethnic household meant every action of his, and the rest of them, was on me. But as he grew older, he began taking advantage of the fact that I'm the scapegoat of the house, the one no one respects or listens to, but is blamed for everything. The straw that broke the camel's back was him attacking me 2 weeks ago. He had my wrists on a death grip and I instinctively fought to get him off me. I was dumbfounded and also scared because he attacked me at the top of the stairs, and I was on the verge of falling down. He had a growth spurt last year, so is 5 feet 10 inches to my 5 feet 5 inches, which perhaps gave him the confidence to manhandle his older sister. I would have left there and then, but it was 10 p.m. at night, with no car, and nowhere to go. I woke up the next day with bruises on my wrists and got really upset and angry all over again. I called my uncle to tell him what happened because I didn't know what else to do. I regret that because whilst he did tear Rascal a new one, he also told him to apologize to me after she's had a day to calm down. Rascal didn't do that, and I was truly hoping he'd never talk to me again since he didn't get any punishment anyway. No one held him accountable for his behavior, he just went straight back to his PS5. However, my uncle called me back a few days ago and asked if Rascal had apologized yet. I was in my room, assuming no one was around, so I was talking loudly when I said no, he didn't apologize, and I don't want a measly apology that means nothing anyway. He has done this over and over again and I'm tired of the abuse. I've done nothing to deserve this. Rascal was standing outside my room and heard that Uncle was on call with me, and in an attempt to manipulate the situation again he ran, got some leftover snacks from his room and knocked on my door whilst I was still on call with Uncle. My uncle heard Rascal come into my room and throw the snacks at me whilst saying sorry loudly. I saw red and threw the measly bag back at him, telling him to never speak to me again. My uncle started saying, "Wait, he apologized? Why are you screaming? Go tell him you accept it." I said, "Lol, you must be mad," and ended the call. Haven't talked to Uncle since either. I regret even involving him, but I had no one to speak to, no friends, and my therapist appointment is in a month. My cousin called me today, said Uncle told her everything and that I'm a bad sister for not hearing my brother out, that I should talk to him. She said siblings fight all the time. So, Ida for standing my ground and vowing not to speak to him again? I'm 21F, and trying to move out. I live in England. It's been a long process due to some financial issues, but I'm getting there. I have an end goal in mind, which is good. My father does not live with us. He works abroad. Him and my mother are not on good terms, but for some reason won't divorce, just separated. He also has another family, which may add context. I made the mistake of talking about me moving out within earshot of my mother a while ago. Ever since then, she's been trying to manipulate me, not realizing that the curtains have been lifted from my eyes. I see every word for what it is, a power play, an attempt to chain me to a toxic environment that uses me as a scapegoat. When her final card, telling me to stay because I'm useless and can't be independent and would be better off saving my money for a car instead of rent and bills, didn't work on me, she called my dad to talk some sense into me. The call from him was triggering, but I pushed through and said I don't want to live here. I hate that I'm either being taken advantage of or demeaned. He kept pushing, so in anger I said I hate her. That he cannot convince me to stay just to slave away for people who don't care about me. I said I'd rather be in debt and pay my rent and money, instead of paying it with my mental health as I've done my entire life. He said, "Are you refusing to listen to your father?" I said maybe you'd have a leg to stand on if you were here, but you're working abroad, have another family that you don't even live with either and are probably thinking about. You've got enough on your plate, so please don't bother with me now, my decision is set. He was furious and called my siblings in anger, ranting about me. They've not said anything really. My mother then got wind of what I said and has been badgering me ever since to apologize to him. I admit I have been avoiding his calls because I was angry when I said everything. I'm feeling slightly guilty now for causing a rift. Ida for shutting down my father, arguing with him and telling him he cannot tell me what to do. This one is long, please read if you can. I'd love to get some advice and moral support. In previous posts, I mentioned how chaotic my home life is, how my brother attacked me and how my anger was dismissed. This links to today's events. I'm 21F, with a mother that hates her life and therefore projects all her negative emotions onto her children, mainly me. She has the classic victim mentality, narcissistic mindset, spewing the same bullshit about how I am the cause of all her troubles, I am the reason for her behavior, refuses to have a civil conversation without screaming at me, has never apologized for anything, has never ever hugged me or told me she loved me. That's not an exaggeration, never. Being the eldest daughter, I was blamed for it all. Her behavior is always my fault according to her. I'm too emotionally drained to give specific context, but just know that the "why does my mother hate me?" questions began when I was just a 5-year-old little girl. In the past few years, I had accepted that no amount of begging, pleading or bargaining would give me the loving mother I yearned for. So I decided to protect my emotions from being exploited. I stopped trying to reason with her. After the incident with my brother, I continued not speaking to anyone. Going about my life outside, coming back here just to sleep. Without the financial independence to move out and no friends to stay with, I thought I had to endure this until I got my money up, but I'm at the end of my rope. Today, after not speaking to each other for weeks, she came and commanded me to fill out a long form for her. I said I'm not ready to act like nothing happened. I was assaulted and nearly thrown off a flight of stairs by your son and you did nothing but watched. And then dismissed me when I broke down in rage. You have ignored me since. If you're gonna talk to me, then let's start with what happened that night. She began ranting about how everything was my fault. How I'm selfish for expecting her to sort him out when he won't listen to her. I said you laughed at me in front of him and told me to stop the dramatics. In front of him. The ranting from her dragged on and I just left to go to my room. She came up after me cussing me out. This is where I lost it and began recording so I have evidence. She yanked my phone and threw it back at me. Then proceeded to continue raging at me. I made a mistake and said that's what you are as a reply to one of her horrible insults to me. She began hitting me, I tried moving away but she continued, at one point punching my face. Now she is shorter than me, and I'm quite obviously stronger. I could have fought back. But regardless of everything, in my heart she's my mother and I didn't want to touch her and give her ammunition to use against me. I managed to grab my suitcase and duffel bag which became a shield against her attacks. I went upstairs, hyperventilating and needing to get out. As mentioned in my previous posts, she has tried manipulating me to stay and not leave the house before. But something about today opened my mind. I'd rather be living in shelters than be here. I packed a bag but all the numbers I called wouldn't pick up. I've been in my room for the past 5 hours, trying to hatch out a plan. I can't leave if there's a risk I'll be forced back because of circumstances. I know because of previous fights in this house that my mother will give me the silent treatment for weeks, so I have time to hash out a plan. I have no friends. No one to stay with. So on Monday morning, I will take my bag and go to a woman's shelter. I will be out of here and survive no matter what. I will be blocking her number and picking myself back up. Despite being 21, I'm at a low in life. I've been sheltered from friends and community. I have no one. But I will make it. I live in England. I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to escape. I have all my documents and passport packed. She also has no access to my bank account and I have a few $100 to get me by right now until I get a job. She isn't usually violent, only with me. I've decided I don't want to go to the police now. My priority is moving out and being anywhere but here. I know my extended family will call me, I will not pick up. My little sister will know I'm safe but that's it. I'm here right now typing this because I have no one to help me. I'm gathering strength with each letter I type. I will make a life for myself, one of my doing, one that overcomes the trauma she has inflicted on me my whole life. I will succeed despite it all. I'm hoping that things go well and I'm able to come back here and let you know that I've taken the step, that I'm doing it. I will find a job, I will work hard, I will decide how my future looks. I'm done being the chained elephant who doesn't know her own strength. I will be free. I only wish I didn't have to be all alone doing this. Update 1. I live in England. I am quite literally shitting bricks. I know I'm a 21-year-old woman, but I've been completely conditioned to believe that I cannot achieve anything on my own. My so-called mother ingrained in me that I'd never succeed without her guidance. This is the first time I'm taking such a drastic step that no one ever expected me to do. I won't mull over how I've let them think so low of me with my inaction. I can't victim blame myself. I feel so panicky. Monday morning, I'm out. Bag is packed, essentials ready. Important documents and passport all secured. I don't know where I'll end up tomorrow night. I have no idea what the future entails. I have no means to support myself currently but my priority is escaping this hell. I'm posting here to hold myself accountable and ensure that my resolve doesn't waver so that I actually leave and don't doubt myself. I have to believe that anything is better than subjecting myself to more of this abuse. I feel like a clueless child, inexperienced and uninformed about the world. I have no one, no friends. But I'm doing this anyway. Please give me some moral support. I really need it. You guys don't understand how much your advice helps. Letting me know that I can do this is giving the confidence I've always needed to take the step. I'm hoping to update you in a few days about how it's going. I hope I survive and thrive. I hope she doesn't end up being right. Thank you so much. I'm still looking for jobs so I can get a steady income and start saving. My life begins tomorrow. Update 2. So I got up at 7 a.m. all nervous. Had breakfast, insured the kids, edit, I'm referring to my 3 younger siblings living there, all over 15 years old, and mother were gone before I got ready to leave. Just as I was about to go downstairs to leave, I heard my mum come back, which never happens once she leaves for work. She heard me moving about but didn't bother me, just went to the bathroom and left. Longest 10 minutes of my life, I really wanted out and right on the day I secretly made a solid decision she was back to haunt me lol. Anyway, I didn't overthink it, I left just after she did and walked in the opposite direction to the bus stop. I got to the youth hub at 9 a.m. Told them of my emergency and that I needed somewhere to sleep tonight as I had nowhere to go. Things seemed to be going well. In the other post I added edits as things were happening in real time, so feel free to read that, but I hit a snag when the housing association called me and said that they can't help with just my words, I could be lying thus, needed evidence. They asked if I had filed a report with the police yet or if I had medical records from the days of the attack. I said no and no. The lady speaking to me seemed like she just wanted to end the call there, but with enough prodding she did tell me that if I filed a report and gave them a crime number I could then be housed somewhere tonight. I called the police, which was a whole other grueling experience. The first woman who picked up was so sweet, she was patient and told me to take my time once I mentioned I was reporting abuse. However, they referred the call to another man, from the domestic violence department with the cops, and that call was so emotionally draining. It was a video call, and his whole demeanor read like he was annoyed at me and that this wasn't a big deal. I reiterated to him this is the first time reporting my family, so I'd need a little patience. He kept telling me to stop adding unnecessary details and cut to the point with the events. Verbatim. I was so stressed recalling what occurred and his bluntness wasn't helping. At one point he let out a chuckle when I said I didn't want to press charges. I just needed the report on file so that I won't be reported missing. So that I can be housed away from that unsafe place. Then his demeanor turned into "oh so, that ''s why she's doing this," and he proceeded to talk to me like I'm a moron, and say you can give them the crime number, but the council won't get any details if they ask, so don't think any data protection laws will be breached to solve your housing problem. I was thinking, duh, I know that. Anyway, I'm just ranting about him because he actually gave me a migraine. The crime number did end up being enough, and once sent back to the council I got a call after another 2 hours telling me that I've been referred to an all-female shared accommodation with housing support. That accommodation ended up calling me just 30 minutes later, telling me to come over now. I assumed they just wanted to talk to me, so I said I have a big bag and I'm tired, is it possible to talk over the phone? The lady said, oh no, I'm telling you to come because there's a room that was just vacated this morning, come see if you want to stay. There was of course no question about it. I went on my way, taking another 30-minute bus ride. Anyway, got there looking disheveled and crazed. I was so exhausted. I got a brief tour, can't recall anything. She talked to me and I filled out some forms and signed some papers. So I'm officially here for the foreseeable future, only paying a small weekly service fee until I get a well-paying job, after which they won't help me and I'll pay the full rent. I'm so tired. I haven't eaten since this morning. I've been having some snacks but that's all. I plan on getting cleaning supplies, cleaning the room up tomorrow. They didn't get a chance to clean it before I came, and being grateful despite the fact that some things that aren't great here. I'll go into more detail on that in another post because this is getting too long. Sorry for rambling, I hope you're still reading. I talked to my little sister and she said my mother has no idea still. Like I said before, drama with my mother means she'll ignore me for weeks after. So the fact that this one is newly fresh, literally occurred only 2 days ago, means she hasn't seeked me out at all. I have blocked her plus brother's numbers. They will not be able to contact me and they don't know where I am. I also specified to the police that I'm not missing, I'm safe and any missing reports are false. I told them to call me if they get such a report and need to confirm my safety. Okay, finally let's talk about how I feel. I cannot believe myself. I have a bed to sleep in, a wardrobe to put clothes in, somewhere to be that, and it only happened because I took that step. I'm out of that toxic house and they don't even know it. I didn't know I was this strong. Now that I've taken this step, I know I won't go back. That niggling doubt is fading. I'm so proud of me. Smile. I've got a lot more to say about the room and the accommodation overall, but for now I want to bask in this achievement. It was a long 10 hours of constant worrying that I'd have to sleep in an unsafe environment tonight. Yet I didn't run back to that house when the fear hit. I stuck it out. I said I'd sleep outside if I had to, or not sleep at all. Despite the obstacles thrown at me, being told that I'm not really homeless if I didn't get kicked out, being made to feel that I was lying about fleeing abuse, I still stuck it out. And now I'm here in a warm bed. Yes, once I settled and was left alone with my thoughts, I felt so horrified at myself for reporting my family. But I got over it quickly because I thought back to what they did. Family don't do that. I didn't betray them, they betrayed me. I'm realistic, so I'm expecting to feel more negative emotions as I find my independence. But that's okay, I know that's just the teething pains from growing. This turned into a whole saga, I apologize. I have lots more to say, but for now thank you so much for your encouragements, advice and help. Thank you for cheering me on. You helped me see this through. I'll update you guys as there's so much more to say, with details about a potential friend I made with my roommate/neighbor. Got each other's numbers, yay, and all the gossip and lore I got from her about this place. She gave me so much tea and hacks to survive with your things intact, Lul. I'll be speaking to her more, she seems so nice. Smiles. Update 3. So, today is day 3. I'm more settled now, I've been feeling comfortable in my independence. I've gone out and bought essential groceries for myself. I've been eating and I'm glad to say I'm alive and well. As the days go on, I feel so much confidence in the decision I took. I know there will be a low point in the future, maybe once my period starts again next month and my hormones are out of whack, where my loneliness will overwhelm me, but I'm prepared. I know it's natural, it's inevitable and it'll pass. Smile. I've also got therapy scheduled for Wednesday, 5th February. I'm glad it's happening. I've simultaneously left the abusive environment and starting my healing journey. Yay. In regards to drama at the house I left, my little sister called me to tell me that my mother doesn't even know I'm gone yet. I mentioned in my previous post that when my mom would fight with me and say the most horrible stuff, or in this case, hit me, she would ignore me for weeks. This is still the case, she's still ignoring me, so she hasn't checked my room. She hasn't seen me either, obviously. Lol. I'm long gone. So she has assumed that I've barricaded myself inside my room, and that I only come out when she's at work with that context in mind. My sister told me the funniest things that have happened since I left. 2 days ago in the car when my mom was dropping my siblings off to school, she started shouting at my sister. Nothing new there, but my sister almost burst out laughing when my mother began ranting crazily about that sister of yours that hasn't even left her room in days and has stunk up the place. Is that who you want to be like? Then, yesterday morning, apparently she was angry at another sibling and went upstairs to shout at them for not being ready to go to school. She was passing my room and decided to knock aggressively whilst shouting through the door. She was yelling about how this is her house, I have no right to, her words, shout and abuse your own mother, then lock yourself in your room and avoid all responsibility. You will come out. If I am back and you're not out, then watch what happens. Mind you, she's saying all this with the door closed. It's 7 a.m, I'm not there, I'm 10 miles away sleeping in another bed. Who TF was she screaming at when my sister was telling me this? I was genuinely dying of laughter. I couldn't believe the level of ridiculousness. Like, what do you mean you're screaming at someone through the door, not knowing if they're there or not, yet wasting your breath anyway? She didn't even take a peek to ensure I had heard her. As funny as it was, it also made me realize the craziness I lived in my whole life. My mother felt so comfortable in abusing me because she genuinely believed there was no limit for me. All my other siblings, she holds back because she doesn't know how far she can go before they are irreversibly pushed away. With me, she exploited my sensitivity and clear desperation for a loving mother. She felt so comfortable saying whatever, doing whatever, thinking I'd never go anywhere despite it. The day after her attacking me, she was quiet, telling my sister to bring me food. She knew she was wrong, at least at first. The day after that, I left in the morning, as you all know. Since then, I haven't been back, as I have everything I need for now. So she hasn't seen me. Yet she assumes I'm still there. And because she assumes I'm still there, she is relieved that the small doubt she had about me actually leaving, which came from me telling her I would after taking my suitcase upstairs, on the day of the attack, was gone. And so, because her belief that I'll never leave is reinforced again, she now feels comfortable twisting everything to make it seem like I was the one who attacked her, even shouting at me for it. Through a closed door that I am not behind. Lol, it's hilarious. This is what I'd have to endure if I stayed. I have never ever felt more secure in my decision than now. I was right, anything else would have been better for me than subjecting myself to more of her bullshit. Anyway, that's enough on the update front. I'm sure I'll have another story to tell when she finds out that I actually did leave. I wish I could be a fly on the wall to see that reaction. I've already blocked her because I do not want her contacting me at all, and that's bringing me much needed peace right now. Smile. It's been 4 hours since I posted here, after reading some comments and thinking to myself, I've decided to unblock her just to ensure any messages that come through can be used as evidence if needed. Muting it though, just to preserve my peace. Like I mentioned, update 4. Things are a little disorderly in my head, but I'll try to go chronologically. So that day my mother was screaming through the closed door, I mentioned she said she'd be checking back to see if I was still in the room. Of course, I hadn't even been in the house for 3 days before that, but she hadn't realized. Anyway, that afternoon she must have checked the room and realized I wasn't there. She assumed I had crashed at a friend's house, which is hilarious considering she knows I have no friends, but I guess it's how she justified it in her brain because she couldn't imagine me truly leaving with nowhere else to go. She asked my siblings, and of course as discussed with them they both feigned ignorance. They said they don't know anything. A day after that, 8 days ago, my aunt called me twice in the afternoon. I learnt from my 15F sister that upon calling me, my aunt called my mother to ask why I wasn't picking. My mother told her she's not home. I don't know where the hell she is, but I'm guessing she's with friends. Well, this aunt of mine is one emotional busybody, bless her, but also give me a break PLS, so she, in her worried state, called her brother, my uncle. I was at the cinema when my uncle began spam calling me. Then, my aunt began spam calling me. Now imagine, I'm watching the new film Companion, it was May, expected more, and I get spam called by relatives. My anxiety levels were through the roof. I put my phone on DND and let them know I'd talk to them later. At the same time, my 20F younger sister, who I've mentioned escaped before me and goes to university in a different city, texted me to let me know that our mother was spam calling her. She told me how their conversation went. My sister feigned ignorance too, saying she hadn't heard from me. My mother went on a rant, venting about me and my audacity to leave without saying anything. Mother told my sister tell her that she is not allowed back. Tell her she can stay wherever she is. Sis said she could barely hold in her laughter. Mind you, this whole time I've unblocked my mother, so if she was really curious she could have called. However, she made no attempts to contact me, which I'm glad for. But it's really annoying how she's sending people after me with her woe is me, my rebellious daughter is nowhere to be seen BS. On that note, I should mention that said uncle called me back after I left the cinema that day. He was poking and prodding to figure out where I was. I stood firm in being vague, told him I'm safe and that's all that he needs to know. I emphasized that I'm emotionally drained and have nothing else to say. I mentioned to him that I'm gone for good though. I forwarded that message to my aunt too. That whole interaction drained my energy, so I was unable to update on how things went. Yet even then, my mother still hadn't gotten it in her head that I was gone for real. I guess she realized couple of days ago when she saw me leaving the old house with my suitcase and duffel bag. Since she didn't contact me directly, I felt safe enough to go to the house when she wasn't there and get my stuff. She was on her way back when she saw me getting into the Uber. There was no big reveal lol. Better this way, I left quietly without fuss. I acted completely different to what was expected of me. No drama, no justification, no last words. I actually like that it went like that. I think it was very unsatisfactory for my mother, so another win there lol. At least her pride will not let her contact me, that would have hurt me before, but it works in my favor now. I also had my first therapy session on Wednesday 5th February went well, still feel weird about opening up. I feel so self-aware about who I am, so it'll be interesting to see if I learn more about myself. Unfortunately, with this being a free service, I only have up to 8 sessions, 8 weeks. Then I'm left to my own devices. I was referred by my GP to a NHS well-being practice, so I don't know where I'd go from there. I don't have the money to pay for therapy. After my therapy on Wednesday I broke my damn molar lol. I was eating and it went crack. I had an ugly meltdown, it was the last thing I needed. Luckily, I was able to get an emergency appointment for the next morning to get it removed because it posed a danger apparently. I didn't want to wait for severe nerve pain, so I opted for the extraction. That shit was so painful. I only received a local anesthetic, but I swear I felt the pain. I, of course, tried to be calm, but the sight of the blood being sucked away in those tube things made me feel faint. Haha, I could never work in the medical field. Anyway, it's been 2 days since I've had it removed. I'm still swollen, still in pain. Haven't eaten much, have an extreme fear of getting dry socket. Reading online about it hasn't eased my anxiety lol. I don't have much energy to make myself soft foods either, but I'll try make myself some oats tomorrow morning. Speaking of dry socket, I'm not in throbbing pain right now. I'm fine. It's been around 55 hours since the extraction. How much longer am I at risk for? I haven't even spat vigorously or brushed my teeth properly, yuck, all that time. Been very gently rinsing with warm salt water though. I hope I can go back to normal soon. It's very lonely, recovering from surgery all alone on the first few days of moving out. Another good thing is that I've got a food bank voucher. It's near where I live, and I was supposed to go there yesterday, but with my whole oral emergency. Alas. However, I hope to go next week when I feel better. They'll give out essentials like rice, oats, sugar and pasta. It would really help me out. Update 5. So today, I had an appointment with a support worker from the charity that initially helped me when I fled. She was nice, expressing the ways she can support me. She'll be able to help me with budgeting, going with me to grocery shop if needed, helping me brainstorm my next steps, etc. I have another appointment with her next week. Smile. After that meeting, I went straight to the food bank with my voucher, because the person who referred me, an employment coach I see alongside my therapist, specified that I am also in need of cutlery, pots and pans and all that. The food bank had so much second-hand stuff ready for me. I was so geeked. There was a kettle, plates, measuring cup, pans and pots, spoons and forks, mugs, tea bags, sanitary items, even shampoo and conditioner. They went over and above and my heart is so full, I'm so happy. Of course, there was the food too, lots of beans and tuna and mackerel as well as chickpeas, rice pudding, custard etc. Basically all the canned food you can think of. I haven't looked through the bags thoroughly, but I'm also hoping there's rice and pasta too. It's okay if there's not, I can buy that myself. Smile. Carrying all that back on a bus ride plus walk by myself was extremely difficult, but some nice strangers helped me carry some stuff. Then when I was near the accommodation, I called my housemate, the girl who was lovely to me the first day I came here, and she helped without question, even bringing a little shopping trolley she owns to carry the stuff. She's actually an angel. I felt comfortable asking for her help. I've reiterated to her that if she ever needs anything I'm here for her too. Anyway, all that stuff is stacked in my room now. I'm incredibly tired because as soon as I dropped the food bank stuff off, I went straight back out to do some grocery shopping, getting oil, milk etc., and those were heavy too. Came back and collapsed onto bed. Haha. I have some more stuff to buy, like seasoning and whatever. But for now, I have enough to finally make a good meal. I'm so grateful and so glad. I'll give myself a break tonight, but tomorrow morning I'll wash up all the cutlery I got from the food bank. I'll clean the cupboards I have. I've got locks for them too so no one can steal my stuff, yay, and put everything away. That way, my room can be free from any clutter. I also bought washing up detergent and liquid so I'll do my laundry too. I will also sign myself up at the nearby dentist and GP so I don't neglect my health. Hoping to do that tomorrow. Smile. Still haven't heard back from the volunteering gig, but I'll update with any news of that when I do. Hope to be back soon. Smiles. Woke up this morning and washed all the cutlery I received. Put everything away in the cupboard, and yes, there were rice and pasta there too. I have enough food to last me over a week truly, so many combinations. There's even a veggie curry in a can that I can heat up and eat with the rice. I'm so happy. Smile. Also there's this one small glass oval thing that I have no clue what it is. Is there a subreddit to find out the names of odd items? Google didn't help lol. I'm a bit confused. Edit. I'm told it's a lid for a casserole dish? Never would have thought.